Hello, everyone. How are you doing? It's Monday, the 17th of August. My morning sustenance, coffee, yes. I want to just yak at you for a bit because played a show last night. Haven't really slept well, but that's how it goes when you play a good show. I just want to get up and kind of enthuse about it. If it happens, if it catches. If not, then I won't upload the video. As I've shared with you, I'm in several bands. One of them is a punk rock band called RAF. It originally meant Ready, Aim, Fire. Then we adopted the Really Are Fucked, more political. We had a show last night playing with 7 Seconds, Bishop's Green, and Success. Here's our logo, or one of our logos. And man, what a night. It was one of those nights that I live for. It was magical, special, and just very, very positive. Part of the reason being is that 7 Seconds, back in the day, back in the 80s, we were scheduled to play with them a particular show that members of 311 were at. Nick Hexum has talked about this show of 311. Something happened to 7 Seconds and they couldn't make it, but RAF and Verbal Assault, we played anyway. So finally, we got to share the stage with them, and they finally played Omaha. Now, I understand they played in the area one other time, but I missed it. So anyway, a lot of old school folks, a lot of 40-year-old punks were at the show, and it was fantastic. The energy was great, and all the bands played well. 7 Seconds really showed how they are still vital. Kevin Seconds and his brother Steve, they're still into it. They're still having fun. The message of the music is still real to them. It was really fun. I didn't buy anything, but the two other opening bands were very kind and gave me some product. Also, I got this, some local person had these printed up, so they gave me one. The two other bands that are touring with 7 Seconds are Bishop's Green and Success, and I'll start with Success. Success is from Seattle. I had never heard of them before. They gave me their latest album, or their first album. I don't know if this is their new album, Radio Recovery. The singer, guitarist of the band explained to me the picture here. He just wanted to portray how, radio sucks, and these people are portraying that with the headphones. And this was a punk, I guess you could say, punk band with keyboards. They play fast, charged up music. I didn't pay much attention to the lyrics, but the band was good. And they whipped up a nice energy level. Here they are, really, really punking it there. Last night, they were a pretty professional in a way, Okay, yeah, so this is music about street life, Success were great. Thank you guys. I've only listened to a little bit of this last night as I was trying to calm down enough to sleep. My first impression is you captured your sound on the record. I let the guys know that I do this, and I usually talk about records that I get. And while, in all honesty, at this point with my collecting and my, I would not be buying this, but this is good and I can recommend it. They've made a good record. I need to listen to it again though. Put on a great show though. The other band, Bishop's Green, really enjoyed them, and at first I was dismissive of them, when they first came on and I was in the back of the room. It just kind of at first hit me like a cookie cutter, like, well, I've heard this before, and so I went outside. And while I'm outside talking and stuff, they kept catching my attention through the wall, so I went back in. And sure enough, I went back inside and went up close, and I noticed the melodicism of the singing and the movement of the songs. Bishop's Green, I I guess they're considered punk oi. I don't know what that means. I used to think that oi meant racist, but these guys are great people, you know. And they won me over by the end of their set. I was as they used to do it, pogoing, you know. I did some moshing last night, but I need to be careful at my age. But there was just something kind of high charged, and the guitar player and the singer, and afterwards I talked to them, and I picked up on it that those two write all the songs, and they have this energy between them, and that's what really caught me, you know. They were really good. Like I said, I didn't buy anything, so I don't have any 7 seconds to show you. You know, if I had gotten anything, it would have been mainly for as a memento, as opposed to something I'm going to really be listening to a lot. Just don't play punk music very much. I used to have a collection and I sold it. Now yesterday, among some other things while I was getting in the mood for the show, and through the weekend, I played a couple of punk albums that I've kept. Let me see if I can find the other one to show you. Yeah. These two I couldn't bear to part with because they just still kick my ass. They're so good. Eye for an Eye by Corrosion of Conformity, their first album. This is one of the first runs, first or second run. I forget which is first. The red label's on this one. There's one with a white label with red lettering. This is the red and black label. This album just really captures, to me, the essence of what hardcore punk was about in the 80s. The lyrics, but also the fury of the music, you know, ragged and just really barely able to hold together and be played, and that to me just is just some of the most exciting punk music to my ears that I've ever heard. Of course, I haven't heard it all. Then another one that I kept, I never got to see this band. I did see Corrosion of Conformity in Omaha. Whoa, what a night that was. And other folks, we were just talking about this last night. It came up because I was mentioning this to Kelly from RAF. And he was at the show too, and it was like, that was one of those nights where it takes the top of your head off. It's amazing, you know, the energy that can be raised through music. But another punk band I never got to see, but I love this album and highly recommend it, is Inferno. Hibakusha, however you say it. Came out in 1986. Especially the title track. I don't speak German, but if the way the singer is spitting the words out, man, I can feel every syllable. This is killer. One of my favorites. Truly, two of my favorite punk rock albums. I have a few more. Indigesti is a keeper. Minor Threat is a keeper. Gray Matter, I still have that. Scream. There's many now, like my Poison Idea and stuff, that I wish I had kept. I think I still have Necros in there somewhere. But another band that came to attention through punk but was never punk that I played this weekend is Wire, Chairs Missing. Just talk about an enigmatic, amazing, creative force here that Wire deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Halls of Fame. They deserve to be talked about like Talking Heads. They deserve to be talked about like they are not talked about. They are so influential. But beyond that, if you could get like an average listener to actually stop and listen, it'd probably blow a lot of people's minds, especially these old albums, how incredible they still sound today. Chairs Missing is their second album. 154 is considered their masterpiece, I agree. But all their output, Wire, is fantastic. Go a little bit further. Played some Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel I don't talk about much now. There was a time in my life when Genesis and Peter Gabriel were the soundtrack to my life, and I played them constantly, and it was like nourishment. I was always learning. And so constantly I got to a point where it's like, well, I really don't need to listen to it anymore, and very seldom do. So when I played this this weekend, live version of I Don't Remember and the B-sides, this was great because I just love the way Peter Gabriel has developed his music and his musical vision since he left Genesis. I really do. A drummer that I highly recommend who is not with us anymore, but Ronald Shannon Jackson is a drummer that needs to be heard. I played Barbecue Dog by him this weekend. That's him. In league with Tony Williams, Elvin Jones, those guys. This guy is just a powerhouse and an innovator. He does things that I dare say that still a lot of, I don't know, it seems like they're not being picked up on, or if they are, I'm not hearing it. Kind of almost revolutionary, some of the things that he does with the drums. Things I've never heard anyone else do. Barbecue Dog. Really enjoyed this weekend. This is one of my favorite bands of all time, Faust, and I played this all the way through, both sides, a couple times. I have this Recommended Records reissue. I think it was 1979 this came out. And my good friend Ralph Stewart gave me his. This is the harder to find version on black vinyl with a white cover. Back in this early 70s, Ralph was one of my good friends. We were out doing something. We were either in Sioux City or Lincoln for some kind of show. Went to a record store and he found this. I remember because I was so jealous because I couldn't afford it. But it's like, man, at that time I knew what this was. He gave it to me for my birthday a couple years ago. Man, this means so much to me. Above and beyond the music. But this album, to me, again, is something that, for the time, 1970 or whatever it was, even got away with sampling the Beatles and the Rolling Stones at the beginning of the record. How'd they get away with it? All right. I'm going to stop there and not have too long of a video, so it won't take too long to upload. I did talk to Kelly, the lead singer, about getting some shirts, for some RAF shirts to sell, but then by the end of the night, that was the last thing on my mind, and we were just, everyone was just giddy with energy and camaraderie. So I will follow up on that, getting some shirts and making them available. I forgot to show the band Success gave me one of their t-shirts, nice of them, but soon we'll get those t-shirts available to you, and I'll talk to you soon.